Discovered the evidence 2 weeks ago, but delaying the breakup. WS has no idea. We've been together for 4 years, married for 2.5 years, and had a puppy for 2 years. WS works in the entertainment sector and is sometimes contracted for work outside of the state. Starting in September 2021, WS was in Tennessee for a 6-week engagement. I traveled down for opening night, and we had passionate after such a long time away, spent quality time with her castmates, and everything was fine. We also spoke about open relationships since many of her castmates were involved in them. When separated from their spouses, it obviously fits the job. We were both promiscuous individuals with large body counts before to meeting, and we both believe that opening up while separated is something we should think about in the future. We both affirmed that despite the debate, we would remain closed until further notice. When WS returned home after the event in the middle of October, she seemed distant and chilly. Refused in tenderness. I snooped on her phone and learned everything. While in Tennessee, her castmate Kay, who was also in a relationship, had been conducting some light back and forth flirting. Nothing significant, no nudes, just drunk texting. We never looked through each other's phones, so I'm guessing she didn't see the need in deleting anything. A week before I came, Kay and her kissed. They both labeled it a mistake and a moment of weakness from two individuals who missed their partners due to distance in their communications. When WS returned home, she wrote Kay a note expressing her love for him and wishing him the best. When WS returned to his GF, Kay barred him on all social media and blocked his phone number. When I read all of this, I was clearly saddened. I even discovered her 2021 goals, which she established a week after returning home, on her phone. She makes a list of her ambitions in order to make them a reality. Here's the rundown: schedule a series regular. Morning and evening meditation, weigh 125 pounds. Kay has broken up with his girlfriend. He regrets how he handled our predicament. He extends an invitation to me to his state, where he lives. We're having the finest I've ever had. Kay soon follows me back to our home state. We are both accomplished actors with 2 dogs and a lovely family. This romantic tale makes no mention of what happens to me. She has obviously fallen in love with him. I instantly organized my affairs: where I would live, what I would do with the dog, whether to terminate the lease or sell our belongings. We had some joint debt to pay off, and I intended to do it before we split up in case she refused to pay. Remember how I said she seemed chilly and distant when she got home after the show? I planned a breakup chat, saying that his conduct was the reason I was on the verge of splitting up with him. No revealing that I was aware of her love for Kay, she cried into my chest, sobbing at the fear of losing me. She loves me more than anything else. How she will go to any length to make things work. I was curious whether she changed her mind, and this breakup chat acted as a wake-up call. She's still showering me with attention and love 2 weeks later, exactly as she did before she went for Tennessee, having fun at friends' Halloween parties and so on. I preserved the secrets while seeming to be the ideal spouse. I checked her phone last night, and her search history is full of methods to view IG stories / FB profiles of individuals who have banned you, as well as general Google searches for Kay in search of additional ways to peek into his life. These searches were carried out on the night we were cuddling on the sofa watching Succession, 2 weeks after the big breakup chat. She also began questioning me about my future goals and my thoughts on children, among other things. We both agree that it will be in the far future, but not anytime soon. I wore the mask. She's asking me what I want for my next birthday, and my parents are visiting from Europe, and she wants us to finally meet while they're here. She'll be the lady I fell in love with when she gets home from work today. Affectionate, passionate, and tender. I've gone through the whole emotional gamut in the 2 weeks since D-Day. Anger, overwhelming sorrow, betrayal, self-doubt, inability to eat or sleep. Then I awoke today with total indifference. I was no longer enraged. It just occurred to me that she is a very flawed human being, so defective that she would risk losing me in order to pursue Kay, who is flawless in her eyes and always will be, since she'll never get near enough to recognize his shortcomings as a partner. I will never be anyone's backup plan. I am much too clever, both intellectually and emotionally, far too attractive, in terrific shape, funny and engaging, and a decent earner with wonderful friends and family. I honestly pity her since she is about to lose me. To be honest, I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. Is it possible that I'm just waiting for her to grow out of her fascination with Kay? There are moments when we're sitting on the sofa, our dog cuddled on our laps, watching TV, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to let this selfish steal me of these evenings. I'm not addressing her until our obligations are paid off, but I'm thinking of putting her in a box in my thoughts and using her as a means to an end. I still like this honest, imperfect lady. I can have her for stability, our open relationship while we're apart, and sleeping with other people when we're apart. Keep the dog in my life as well. I can also move in with my closest friend on the spur of the moment and go no contact, be single again, but have to say goodbye to them both for good. The dog is solely in her name. I feel that if I approach her, we'll have to call it quits. Throughout our 4-year relationship, I've warned her that if the subject of adultery came up, I'd simply dump her and she'd be dead to me. Otherwise, I'm simply facilitating it. Who knows where she'd be if Kay hadn't stopped her and instead supported her? Is she even still with me? Or has the split helped her understand how much she loves me? Nonetheless, she continues to try to stalk him online. I go back and forth between knowing I have to go and questioning whether I have to. If I can remain and concentrate on my happiness, she will mean less to me than she did before Tennessee. I'm not even sure what I want anymore. Sounds like codependence to me. I still adore her and our dog. Story 2. I just found out my so of almost 5 years was cheating on me the whole relationship. I would never have guessed it. He was very violent and a typical narcissist, but he had a significant problem with infidelity. For example, he would have a dream that I cheated on him and would refuse to talk to me for days. Cheating was something I assumed he would never do. He chastised me numerous times a week for a year because I slept with someone before we even met. I hadn't even shaken hands with him, yet I was humiliated and degraded for a year because of that one-night stand. I've always been faithful to him, even cutting off all my platonic male friends since he was so controlling. He's a master of deception. I only found out by chance when I came upon a notebook of his in which he referenced cheating on me. When I challenged him, he lied and lied and lied again, making up every stupid reason under the sun. Regardless, I left him. After that, I discovered that he was often cheating on me with prostitutes, and we had a very active life because he would basically force me into it on a daily basis. He also cheated on me multiple times with an HIV-positive male. I've been tested, and happily, I'm clean. What makes this so painful for me is that he was cheating at the same time my 4-year-old was diagnosed with serious brain cancer and given a very little chance of life. At the time, I was 7 months pregnant. All of a sudden, I was spending weeks in the hospital at her side, as she was on the verge of death, getting the most powerful chemo injected into her small little body, brutally ill and in pain, while he was at home doing meth and prostitutes and other guys. I can't believe somebody could do that, and yet when I came home, he was so sweet in between the torture. There was no empathy or regret. Now that he's been exposed and I have evidence, he's acknowledged everything and is love-bombing me with apologies and other standard narc garbage. I'm entirely ignoring him, which I'm sure is driving him mad. I'll never get him back. But now that I'm a single mother, 24, with 2 children under the age of 5, and my daughter is still through cancer treatment, cleaning up the pieces aches like hell. To convince me to take him back, you'd have to put a pistol to my head and I'd take the bullet. He's a demon.